No, no, you can't because this channel is for Twitch and Twitch only. I'm not gonna have that yesterday's disaster happen again. Anyways, we're on Twitch right now. So, for those of you who are on Twitch, I run Tech Cemetery LLC and the Tech Cemetery YouTube channel. I fix graphics cards, and this Twitch stream is mostly me going through the various graphics cards that are sent in for repair. If you have a graphics card you want to get repaired or sent in for repair, I have a website. It should be linked in the somewhere on Twitch. It's also linked in my videos on my YouTube channel, Tech Cemetery LLC, or the website is just www.techcemetery.com. So, anyways, if you watched my stream yesterday, I went through 6 P106 100. So this is a 6 gigabyte version, and from memory, 3 of them were missing a power rail, so they were all restored. But all of them all of them also crash on driver install. So for some of them, we have dead memory banks. Unfortunately, they use SK Hynix GDDR5, so it'll be a while before I get those from China. And the others, I don't have a definite conclusion yet, but I'll get to them eventually. So for this stream, we're going to do some other cards from other customers, since I'm waiting on parts for those ones. So the first card I have is, I believe the GTX 1080, and the customer wrote that it gets stuck on, it's stuck at 139 megahertz. So let me zoom out a little more. Okay. So like I said, it gets stuck at 139 megahertz. So if you don't know, this is likely related to the INA3221. And I think if I remember right, he said that his PCIe slot 12 volt TDP was 323%. So for this case, it should be a relatively simple fix. We just have to identify the dead components around INA3221, and once we replace them, it should work without issue. And that's a lot of padding. Hold on, let me bring up Twitch chat. I just realized I don't have the stream manager open.
The PC, you need some SK Hynix DDR5, I hear.
Yeah. What, you have some lying around?
I have 50 modules.
Oh.
Brand new.
What?
Probably. But
Well, probably, that's okay. Ask me again on stream. Also, could you send me that Razer Blade battery?
yeah, and
Well, I still want it, so invoice me on PayPal, because I definitely need it to sell a laptop. Oh, shit. It's Greg Tech. He called me a nerd. Greg's a nerd. Greg's a nerd. Oh, so Greg, is that the name of your Twitch channel? Greg Tech? By the way, anything you say on Discord can be heard on Twitch, by the way. Okay, let's put this box away. And the card is a... Wow, I don't think I've ever seen this one before. So this is GTX 1080, I'm told. This is definitely very OEM looking. Lenovo, maybe? But I can tell just from looking at it, it's the reference PCB. So this should be relatively straightforward. Definitely reference PCB. So the guy said that it's it gets stuck at 139 megahertz. So we'll just check 12 volts just to be sure, in case maybe he... Well, I don't think he got it wrong, but we'll just check it just to be sure. Oh, that's right, you guys can't see this, so here we go. So diode mode, PCI Express 12 volts, we're fine. Checking the external 8-pin, we're fine. Okay, let's plug it in. Hey look, it's a 10th.
CC, what what's your actual Twitch? Tech Cemetery?
Yep, Tech Cemetery. I have exactly one viewer. Probably Greg.
No, just 3 of us.
Reset? Oh, I hadn't noticed. Anyways, so unfortunately I can't show you the screen, or at least the output of this screen, not yet. I'm waiting for my cable. I'll have it tomorrow, and then you can see like the entire screen in full view. But basically this card runs at 139 megahertz. We're gonna go to GPU-Z. I'm just gonna confirm it. You have to trust me that it does actually run at 139 megahertz once the drive is loaded, of course. Okay, so the drivers have loaded. If we go to GPU-Z, again, you guys can't see this, but... And we check the PCI Express slot, I think 12 volts, TDP at least. Yep, so the card reports a power consumption of 400 watts, and the PCIe slot power is currently apparently consuming 387. I don't have TeamViewer on this. Yeah, I don't have TeamViewer, so you just have to trust my word that it's actually broken. Anyways, when we take the card apart, we'll be able to identify the dead components. I'm not baking it. No. This is gonna be my favorite PCB I've ever seen. Blue PCBs. I miss these.
Wait, hold on, really?
Yeah, blue PCB. Probably some Lenovo OEM. It's also actually quite nice. They have a front. They have a place for the VRMs. As
That's the cooler one.
like this.
I don't think I've ever seen that one before.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm guessing some OEM for Lenovo, maybe. It's actually quite nice. Like I would happily use this in my personal system. I get rid of the RGB because that's kind of gaudy. But other than that, it's if I use the GTX 1080, this would be perfectly good. Anyways, let's start.
Just me or some of the coils look a bit
I think it's just the view. So it is actually kind of normal for these coils to brown a little as they age, but they're okay. Anyways, let's clean the die and then get to work. So the problem is, of course, centered around INA 3221. And looking at it, I can actually see a missing component already. And I think maybe trace damage?
Capacitor?
Yeah, I can see a missing capacitor, so I'll bring up the microscope in a second. Okay, let me switch to the microscope. Okay, so we can see missing components, so this would be basic trace work. And that's, what is that? Is that a trace that's hanging loose? Oh, whoops. Yep, remainder of the trace. It's okay, we don't need it. Let's see, as for this here, yep, that's a loose pad.
Send it, it'll be fine.
I'm not sure if I want to use it or just get rid of it. Anyways, let's just check the resistors around it first, just to be sure. So let's see, this one would be 20 ohms, I think. Yep, 20 ohms, and this one is again 20 ohms. Yep, and this should be 666,000. Hold on, I'll switch to overhead view. So that last one on the very left should be 666,000, more or less. Or maybe not. It is on some, that resistor would be 666K on some models, but maybe not this particular line. Okay, it doesn't matter, it's high enough. Okay, so I'm not gonna use this pad. Actually, Miles, what do you think? Should I reuse it or just attach the capacitor to this?
I mean, I'd reuse it. Like, worst case, it'll give a little bit more mounting even if you have to run a wire as well.
Okay, actually, okay, yeah, you know what? Sure, you're right. Also, for those of you on Twitch, Greg, is it, can you hear Miles properly? Like, is it clear? Or is it too quiet or too loud? As for how the okay, I'll turn up the volume then. Miles, say something.
Saying something.
Again?
This apple cider is fire, Greg.
Okay, Fyro, say something.
Hello.
Okay. So, let's, so this capacitor is 11 microfarads from memory. So let me go get a donor board, and then we'll install it, and then I'll have to do the rewiring work.
All right. Ghetto cooler. See if this works. Oh, I forgot to take the back of it off first.
God damn it. Capacitor blew away. Okay, so it's attached. Now let's clean it because it looks awful.
Greg's probably hearing my Discord beeps. Beep, 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 beep. Come on, motherfucking driver. Install. There we go.
Yeah, Satanic. So the point of Twitch is to do easy stuff that's not YouTube worthy. So customer induced damage is kind of up there.
Are you soldering straight to the pad of the INA?
Yep, I already soldered to it.
If that works. Hey, benchmark completed. It's boiling itself, but. More flux.
Yep, I know. I'll reheat it.
Are you using lead-free solder paste or solder wick? No, not wick.
Yes,
solder.
lead free.
That's
Yes,
the word.
lead free solder.
You are shooting yourself in the foot.
I fucking hate lead. I hate lead with a passion.
You do you.
Well, if you use lead, you don't have to worry about your life after GPU repair.
Oh, so hey. Oh, hey, Jerry. So the pad is ripped is because one of my customer knocked off the components, so it's stuck at 139 megahertz. And also, hey, Mikhail. Nice to see you again.
Damn, 12 viewers, big baller.
Hold on. Yes, so Jerker, yeah, I'll be I plan to stream basically every day if I can, if I have enough cards. So I think the plan is like 3 cards a day for stream. Usually the straightforward or easy ones, the ones that are not YouTube worthy. So as for the stream schedule, I don't really have one yet, but basically nighttime US, so 9 p.m. ish, all the way to 1 a.m. Central Time. So 9 p.m. Central Time was 12 minutes ago. You can raid me if you want. So I don't have mods yet. I think I'll make I don't know if Fyro and Greg want to be mods, maybe, and maybe Miles if he feels like not saying Wagner every 3 seconds.
What?
What's up, Greg? Just say what you think. You can be heard on stream, by the way.
Let me burn my finger. That didn't feel good.
See ya, Jericho. See ya. Good night.
Your mic is so loud on Discord right now.
On Discord?
Yeah. It's as if somebody was hammering the nail instantly.
Miles. Sure thing, Greg. If you mean by 12 times 2.
I don't know. I believe Greg was 12.
Okay, we should be good. That looks connected to me. Only problem is you see that bit of burnt plastic on the capacitor? It's only plastic, but not as pretty as it should be. But let's put the thing back together and see if it still has 139 megahertz at stuck at 139 megahertz. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hold on. GPU protected services. What did I do, Greg? What did I do? Oh, that's right. I dropped the thermal paste. Yeah, that's right. My mistake. Yeah, that was clumsy of
Microphone
me.
is mounted. Yes. So,
Sorry, what?
and your microphone is mounted to the desk.
Yeah, sorry about that. It will be not mounted to the desk in the future. Yeah.
You guys are some particular. I'm gonna shut up. I can't talk tonight.
Yeah, they care a lot for audio, unlike you and me, Miles.
But
Audio
you guys
file.
got 12,000 subscribers?
Sorry, what?
Well, I haven't checked in a bit. How many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
Uh, 11,600 something.
Yeah, you need some level of quality.
Yeah, I have quality in my video and I dare say my explanations. All the places that matter most to me.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think people are subscribing to PC for its audio quality. I have a feeling they're subscribed for the knowledge,
Shh, we are turning him into Rossman.
not production quality.
Are you saying I don't have
No
production
offense.
quality?
I'm saying that is not the main reason you have subscribers.
Oh, okay, okay. That's a nice way to put it. Hold on, the screw doesn't seem to go all the way in. It's probably just the heatsink. Or have I done it wrong? Anyways, I'll test it. We'll see if it's good or not. Miles, is that you? The static?
Maybe. Hold on, I'm soldering a module real quick. Is that better?
Yep.
Here, I'll mute myself. I gotta run my station at max flow.
No worries. It's
Lead-free solder balls and shit.
sure, sure. Okay, drivers have to install. It'll take like a minute, so I'm gonna go get more coffee. I'll be back in a minute or two.
Ooh, I get all the time to talk shit and you can't ban me. drinking coffee out of a red Solo cup?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I used to. I can't be bothered to wash my cups every like hour or whatever because I drink coffee all day. Caffeinated in the morning and then decaf towards the end of the day.
Gotta release the toxins from the plastic.
Yeah, soon I'll have glass cups soon because I have dishwasher now. And
It's a first world problem. Saying it's a first world problem.
Chaos.
What's up? This 3080 that I just got, it has
Yeah.
Encore, X, memory, but it doesn't have VCore.
Small disclaimer, you're live on Twitch right now.
Oh. Oopsies.
yeah,
That's
this is
why you can,
this is not a help video chat. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
So what do you say? Okay, you have a you know what? This card's testing, so why the hell not? You have a 3080. What are you missing?
Just VCore. But I have memory. That's what's weird.
You have enable on the EP95, whatever one you uses.
Is this
All
It's
of them.
the Founders Edition.
okay?
So
So
it uses MP.
okay, let me think. So VCore for a 3080 has two parts. There's the Encore and then there's the VCore. Which one are you missing?
VCore. It has Encore, 750 millivolts.
Okay, so VCore is likely controlled by the UP9512. Actually, no. So MP2888A.
Yeah.
Okay. So standard checks are voltage in. No, sorry, not voltage in. VCC enable, and then for these digital ones, they usually have like ref out. Maybe ref in. I don't think they have a V. Maybe they have a VREF. I don't know. So let's look at the data sheet.
I was looking at the power sequence, and memory is right after VCore, but it has memory, even though it's missing VCore.
I mean, if the controller fails, and sometimes technically speaking, assuming let's say the memory relies on P code being present on the VCore phase controller. If the phase controller fails, it may not short P code anymore. I've seen stuff like that before on Strix 1080 Ti's, where you have PEX and memory, but you don't have VCore.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the problem with that controller is that it's digital. So even if you get a replacement, you have to program it. You can use there's a program called the dongle that you would use by Monolithic Power Systems. It's I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but actually I think I can get it now. Give me a moment. So I think it's either the MPS I2C interface or the Server Telecom Core Power Monitor program by MPS again. So they have like a specialty I2C dongle that you can. I want to say that you can write to and read from these digital PWM controllers, but the one case where I had to use it on a laptop, it didn't work. For some reason, I don't. You could sometimes write to it, but then the chip would die later. I don't know why, but you can give it a try if you think it's worth your time.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so for those of you on Twitch stream, this card it was stuck at 139 megahertz due to the PCIe 12 volts reading at a 323% TDP. Actually, no, not 23%. It thought it was consuming about 400 watts of the PCIe 12 volts pins, which is also not the case because they would have caught fire. So we saw that missing capacitor, and we saw that the whipped traces. We rewired the traces, and now the card is running perfectly fine, full load. And let me double check the power consumption, reported power consumption. It should be just fine. and the clock speeds. So the clock speeds is at 1850 megahertz, and the reported power consumption is 170 watts, which is more or less normal for a GTX 1080. So yeah, everything's good. So this card is fixed. I'll email the owner off stream later, and we'll get another card. Let me just block the screen while I read my customer's notes for the next card. Actually, I'll let stream chat choose. So we have either, for today's queue, we have an RX Vega that's that is not detected. Apparently it idled overnight, and in the morning it was just not detected. We also have a 2080 Super, where the owner dropped a tool on the back, and the other two choices are both GTX 1070s. One of them has code 43 despite BIOS flash attempts, and the other has no signs of life, as in no fan spin, no LEDs. So for the code 43 one, I don't think I have replacement memory on hand, so I might not be able to fix it today, but we can at least look at it if the viewers want.
Vega.
Okay, Miles votes Vega. What does everyone else vote? So Fyro, Greg? So Greg wants no fan spin 1070. Let's see what everyone else says.
The Vega dead core.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling Vega is gonna probably be a dead core.
Radeon 7.
Oh, look at that! I have a first-time chat from a viewer. So I don't know how to read that. So right now flex pounds, not right now flex pounds. Hi. So anyways, so we're having a small vote. If you don't know, I fix graphics cards. I run Tech Cemetery LLC and the YouTube channel Tech Cemetery. Oh, Neutron Flux Labs. Okay, that makes so much more sense. So we're having a vote. Which card is going to be repaired next? Oh, okay. What vote? What vote are you picking
Next? Ooh, definitely not the Vega then.
Well, okay. Which card do you want me to look at next? It's either the Vega, the 1070s, or the I think it was 2080 Super.
He said Vega.
Okay, so Mouse says Vega. What do you say, Fyro?
Vega.
Okay, Vega. So we have 2 votes for Vega, 1 vote for the no fan spin 1070, and what's the final vote? Neutron. Okay. Okay, fine. I guess. Well, it's a tie, so I get to pick. I'm gonna pick the 1070s. Okay.
Oh, he's taking the easy way out.
Well, I mean, the Vega would be easier because we'd basically look at it and be like, yep, dead core. What else? Anyways, let me go grab the card. I'll be right back.
Oh, I just dropped my tweezers and sent them. Oh shit.
You say something, Miles?
I just dropped my tweezers and bent them.
Hi Neutron. So you got which one? You have to forgive me when you say I don't know which card this is. I occasionally answer questions and I forget every single card I talk about when I give advice. So you have a dual NPN transistor, so you're missing memory voltage, right? That's right, yeah, VMEM, you're missing VMEM due to EN, and I told you to look at the dual NPN. Okay, yeah, that one, I remember now. So this was in the ERS Discord, right? Electronics Repair School? Okay, next card. Okay, yeah, I remember now. So unfortunately, this one's not gonna likely not gonna have missing memory, but I can show you what the dual NPN transistor is on this particular card. 1070s and 1080s have very similar PCBs, the reference PCB, with mostly 2 major changes. 3 that I can think of top of my head. Gotta love these USPS boxes, huh? Why can't they use tape like normal people?
Oh, the worst is when they have tape and the pre-applied adhesive.
Oh, yeah, those are definitely worse. Or when they ship their 1070 mini in a monitor box. What a waste of space. So again, these are the 2 1070s. We have one here, and we have the other over here. I don't know which one is the one with no fan spin. That's the one we'll do first, because I have to go buy lots of expensive equipment, and I need as many cars repaired as possible.
DC, make me mod fast. Greg just summoned the horde on Discord.
Oh, okay. How do I make you a mod? How do I make you a mod?
Probably right click and hit make mod or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, where's the button?
Yeah, you gotta you right click him and then you hit ban.
Oh dear, I think this has been worked on. I can see what looks like soda flux leaking through the padding.
Oh, you need to do /mod my username.
What? Slash what?
/mod.
Ban.
/mod Fiverr official.
Yep.
You're not trolling me, are you?
No, that's what I'm saying online.
Okay. /mod Fiverr official. /mod. Oh yeah, fine. Oh. Hi, Sokar. Okay, you should be a mod, Fyro.
Yep, I'm a mod.
Okay, yep, now I'm ready to go, people.
And Cat's Meow is here. Okay, let's see, which one is this? So I have 2 1070s here from a customer. He bought them off of Facebook Marketplace, so already a bad sign. One of them has code 43 despite BIOS flashes by the customer, and the other just has, he says no signs of life. So I'm assuming some failure at or before 1.8 volts. So I'm going to do the no fan spin one first, because hold on. Did he send me a part? Yes, he did. This must be the BIOS flash one with code 43. Okay. So the one we have on the table without packaging is probably no fan spin. Okay, so like all the GTX, like all the graphics cards we get, we start by checking for short on the base voltage rails. I'm going to use dive mode. This is the one I prefer to use when I'm not working on camera. Okay, so PCI. Oh, these things are always bad. So PCI Express slots, 12 volts. We're fine. 3.3 volts. We're fine. Actually, while we're at it, let's check the PCIe lanes. 0.5, 0.5. That's fine. Okay, let's check the two external A pins. So checking the leftmost one. Fine. Checking the rightmost one. Huh? Yep, that's fine too. Let's check our reference clock plus and minus before we disassemble the card. 0.6, 0.86. Okay, that's fine too. Okay, let's disassemble it now. At least partially. Wouldn't be EVGA without their super leaky thermal pads. Okay, so next, so first let's check 5 volts. There are two 5 volt rails for this card, and the inductor is exposed. So this is one 5 volt rail. 6 kilo ohms, that's just fine. Or something very high, we don't care. This is the other one. I think this one is used for the drivers. I could be wrong. 5 kilo ohms, fine. Checking 1.8 volts, should be about 900 ohms. But 400. So I'm not going to say dead cord despite the abnormally low resistance. Does this card have a BIOS switch? So you do sometimes see FTW cards with abnormally low resistance on 1.8 volts. This might be the source of a problem. So because the owner says that the card has no power. So presumably no LEDs, no fan spin. No fan spin for a lot of Pascal cards generally implies some failure at a power rail at 1.8 volts or before 1.8 volts. So this is a concern at the moment, but we're not going to dismiss it as dead forever just yet. Let's check the memory. Or what? Probably just not good contact. You know what? Let's just take it apart. That's not a reliable reading. Okay, let's do a proper resistance check this time. So we already checked 12 volts and 3.3 volts. Again, just to be sure. So 5 volts, 6 kilo ohms plus, we don't care, that's high enough. So the other 5 volt rail for the VRM, 6 kilo ohm plus, we don't care about that. 1.8 volts. Was it really 400 ohms? Yes. So that's not a good sign, of course. Now let's check the PEX rail. 193 ohms. Let's check that again. 193 ohms. That is the highest I've ever seen on any GTX 1070 by far. Hey Malak, yeah, that's basically the gist of it if you go by YouTube videos. Well, not my YouTube videos, but other people, I should say. So anyways, if you're wondering, we have this particular GTX 1070, and it's, the owner says that it has no power. So by no power, he means no fan spin. Because it has no fan spin, we think that it's missing a power rail at either 1.8 volts or before 1.8 volts. So 1.8 volts has an abnormal low resistance at 400 ohms when we should see about 900 ohms or so. So this is our concern at the moment. So let me just wipe off the paste and then we'll try to power it on. Yes, Greg, I'm getting there. If you don't know, Greg fixes graphics cards as well.
I'm with you, Greg.
He runs a sick repair, I think, or global priority.
Oh, imagine.
Global Priority LLC.
Who cleans thermal paste? You just stick good stuff on there, it's fine.
Check. Oh, yeah, I know.
Is that a Curian?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on. This does have a BIOS switch. So actually, let me go back to the. Let me show you something. So I think I know why it shows 400 ohms at 1.8 volts and not 900 ohms. So you notice how we have 400 ohms? If we flip the BIOS switch. Oh, actually it drops. So that's even worse. Never mind. Anyways, let's just power it on. So on some cards, like let's say the FTW 1080 Ti, FTW 31080 Ti, if the resistance of 1.8 volts changes depending on where the BIOS switch is at. So sometimes when you see like these lower resistance than usual, it's not because it's a dead core, it's because the BIOS switch is set at a certain position. Okay, first things first. 1.8 volts, which we have. V-core, which we have. Is it ever initialized?
Uh-oh.
From looks of it, no. So no, 0.8 volts, so we know that the core never initializes. Do we have PEX? We do, and I'm guessing we have memory? Yes. Our voltages does not initialize abnormally low resistance on 1.8 volts.
Wagner time.
Oh dear. For abnormally low
So
resistance.
sad.
So the reason why he says no power is because when he puts it in, the fans do not spin. Or at least that's what he says. I think what he really means is that they twitch. Oh dear. Oh dear. So let's just standard checks for a card with no voltages and actually let's no more voltages. I'm gonna use a thermal camera. I have a suspicion at 800 at an abnormally low resistance on 1.8 volts that the die is the source of our shorts. A thermal camera will confirm it. Here we go.
DC, do you normally find that like when cores are dead, they're not shorted to 0. They're shorted like somewhere in between normal and 0.
Yeah. That's
what I normally see as well. Like 0 ohms on something is usually something else. But like in the middle is usually 4 in my opinion.
So for PEX rail, yes. For 1.8 volts, not so much. But it does happen at 1.8 volts as well. So okay, let's hook up a power supply now. For those of you who are curious, I'm setting it to 1.2 volts, which is still lower than, I'll raise it if I have to. And
14.
at 1.2 volts, 0 amps, taken. 1.6, still 0 amps, so I'm not going to find this with a power supply. Just measure the V core milliohms. Actually, sure, why the hell not? We'll set the power supply to 0.8 volts, and I'll give you overhead view. So if you don't know how to measure, let's say, the V core resistance without a milliohm meter, you can use a power supply. So I have my black probe hook up to the negative portion of the power supply, and my positive portion goes on a V core inductor. And at 0.8 volts, it takes 1 amp, which is normal, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, we'll be able to confirm it with the other one. Okay, so let's flip the BIOS switch and try this again. Not detected. Okay, standard checks for a card without normal resistances and not detected. So I can tell you right now this is probably dead core, but the guy who sent this in is paying a diagnostic fee, so we'll do the standard checks. The standard checks include, firstly, we're going to check the PEX reset line. I would say yes, PEX resets. That's the first one I always check. So on this card, PEX reset is not connected to some logical AND gate like it is on a lot of the cards that I cover. Instead, it passes through a single 2.2 ohm resistor over here, actually. I'm not sure if you can see it. So like I said, let's just check it's 2.2 ohms to begin with. Or 0 ohms in this case. Hold on. Let me just double check. So maybe the circuitry is a bit different here. Yep, okay, yeah, it is actually, I guess in this card it's 0 ohms, not 2.2. So anyways, let's check the resistance of the PEX reset line, the PEX reset pin, PCIe pin A11. 32 ohms, we're done, dead core. 32 ohms. Okay, so I think I have one more 1070 around. I'll show you what the resistance is supposed to be on that 1070, despite being a different PCB, and then you understand why. So PEX reset is like the reset line. You know, when you press the reset pin on your motherboard, it shorts PEX reset to ground. It tells the GPU to basically clear itself. But in this case, it's because PEX reset is at 32 ohms, what we can tell is that what's going to happen is that when I plug it into my motherboard, so hold on. So because PEX reset is 32 ohms, when I plug it into my motherboard, this is going to be shorted to ground or very low, and that's why the GPU doesn't power on. So let's go back to the side view and I'll show you again.
TC, Birdsoi tweeted your channel.
Oh, we have a special guest, the famous overclocker, Billzoid. And by the way, I saw your tantalum capacitor video for Asus Z690 motherboards. That was a great finding. Like I actually spent like 30 minutes looking at some of those pictures and didn't notice that they were backwards. Okay, so for those of you who maybe are just catching on to stream, are just starting in, so this card was sent to me by a customer who bought it off Facebook Marketplace. He says that the card receives no power. This is not quite correct, but it doesn't. Well, you see what's actually wrong. So for this case, we have 400 ohms on 1.8 volts, which typically implies a dead core. And And it is actually a dead core in this case. So we can't determine let's say the source of the short, partial short on 1.8 volts with a thermal camera because it's not short enough. Yep, 400 ohms. But if we check the PEX reset line, we see we have 32 ohms, which is way lower than any 1070 should have. And in fact, if we turn on the card and then check this pin again, and for voltage I mean, 0.8 volts instead of the 3.4 that my motherboard supplies. So if yes, PEX reset is internally shorted in the core. On this particular card, PEX resets passes through one resistor and then goes straight to the core. So remember we had 0.8 volts. If I now turn on my motherboard and check the PEX reset pin, you'll notice that it's supposed to be 3.4, which means we're done. Dead core. Nothing to do here. And the owner also sent another 1070. I don't know if it's a 1070 FTW as well, but I'll show you resistance on that one. Oh, good to hear, Zippy. Oh, 29 viewers. Thank you, Buildzoid, for sharing this stream. Okay, so we have a 1070F Founders Edition, as you can see. So, as I said, we had 32 ohms on PEX reset on the previous card. Let's see what it is here. I'm really hoping it's not also 32 ohms, because then I need to find a working 1070 in order to verify that it's supposed to be higher. So, PEX resets, we have 148 ohms. That's actually also really low. In fact, I think this is just another dead core. He bought these both off of Facebook Marketplace. Actually, give me a moment. Let me try to go find a 1070 or 1080 that is not dead on PEX resets. I'll be back in a minute.
Hey, Vega. BGM again.
What?
BGM again. Vega.
What?
BGM.
PCM?
Facebook Market and eBay. They fuck them up. Or their Pascal cards die naturally.
Okay, I'm back. So I said that we have a dead 1070 because of 32 ohms and then 148 on PEX resets. This is 1070 Ti with a dead memory controller. Essentially the same die, but if we check this, we'll have 6 mega ohms. That's what it's supposed to be. So this one's also a dead core, but it's not short on PEX resets. So like I said, 32 ohms on one 1070 and 148 on the other. Dead core. We're done. For this particular card, I don't really have to disassemble it to know it's a dead core, but I do charge a diagnostic fee. So I'm gonna open it anyways in the 0.1% chance that it's not a dead core. But I'm not expecting this to work. Actually, we'll keep that one on. We don't need to. We just need to take off the back plate. We don't care about the actual cooler itself. Oh, here it is. So as for mining cards, I don't get that many. Okay, do you mean dedicated mining cards or just regular gaming cards for miners? Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Okay, dual M pin. Yep, I can show you on this card. I'll show you on this card. Neutron Flux Labs. Okay, so I would say maybe half of my business is from miners. So miners, they don't make up a significant portion of my customers, but they have multiple cards. So usually they send in like 3 or 4 at a time. You know, I have a box of 6 P106s. Okay, let's see. So for Neutron Flux Labs, the dual NPN transistor would be this one over here, just behind the memory phase. So let me zoom in all the way. It's going to get a little bit dark. Yeah, it'll get very dark, but you can kind of confirm location. So it's this one over here. So like I said, it's, well, you can just tell the board area anyways, even if it is kind of dark. So like I said, it's basically it shorts enable for the memory phase it shorts enable for the memory phase when the card first powers on due to an early power rail. And then when the PEX rail turns on, P-good passes through a resistor over here and then shorts the signal, shorting enable. Yeah, I have to get a flashlight. Next stream. This is my 3rd stream total. I have to fix the audio, I have to fix the echoing, I have to fix the lighting. It'll get better in the future. So anyways, for this card, we already have 148 ohms on PEX resets. So again, very strong suspicion dead core. Let's check 1.8 volts. 0 ohms. We're done. Dead core. That's it. We are completely done. It's a dead core. And in fact, I think we can also check this as well. Or no, that's the memory.
Dead cores.
I'm sorry?
There's a solution for dead cores.
Oh no, we're not gonna, we don't do that stuff here, Miles. We don't do that stuff here. So
He rings.
let's check the PEX rail itself. So can't remember which solar pad it is. I think it's this one. No. It doesn't matter. 0 ohms on a 1.8 volts, 148 ohms on PEX resets. This is PEX reset only connects to a 2 ohm resistor and the core. We're done.
3 PCB,
I'm sorry?
3 parts.
Yeah, it's just a parts card, unfortunately. It's a really nice cooler. I'd love to keep the cooler, but it's just a parts card. Anyways, I'll put this back together briefly, and then for the other card, I'll put the screws in a bag, and then we'll go through the other customer cards. So I think for today's queue, I have just a Vega left. Idled overnight, not detected in the morning, and then I have a 2080 Super where the owner dropped I think he said screwdriver onto the back of the card, and now it's just not detected. The resistor of that resistor is typically very low if you talk about PEX resets. So this is I think on some cards it's 2.2 ohms, and on others it's 0 ohms. So no, the problem with PEX reset is not that the resistance is very high, it's that it's very low. So on this card we have 140 ohms, but on most on the other 1070 Ti we checked it's 6 mega ohms. Oh, I'm sorry. Nine kilo ohm sounds a little high. So, just from a guess. Actually, I should have measured that. You know what? I'll measure it on here so you can see what it is, and also waste my viewers' time a little.
On Twitch.
Yeah. So people do pay to repair old cards. In fact, 10 series make up, I would say, a third of my repair requests. Probably because I have the most videos on it, relative to the other series. Yeah, like,
Got a lot of Polaris cards.
and oh yeah, lots of RX 580s too, mostly for miners though. So anyways, that resistor that P-good passes through, it's I can't remember if it's a top one or bottom one. So for one of these two resistors we have 4.4 kilo ohms, and on the other we have 0 ohms. I don't remember which one it is, but I think it's the 4.4 kilo ohm one.
Okay, you won't be too interested in my Founders 1080.
Who's this, by the way?
Lazy Dev.
Oh,
the
lazy.
car's
Oh, lazy.
secondhand.
Oh, yeah, lazy dev. This is the first time we've ever talked in voice chat.
Yeah, I bought the car second hand. Did all Did all the standard diagnostics. Didn't plug it in. Actually, no one else moving house. The GPU core fell off it.
Fell off.
It literally fell off. I see if I can dig it out later on. It's actually quite funny.
Oh, hold on. Let me go back into Twitch chat. Anyways, let's put this thing back together and I'll pull out one of the other cards. Sucks for this customer though. He bought two 1070s off of Facebook Marketplace, broken. They're both short on PEX resets. I work with 6900 XTs. I think you just need to redo your thermal paste. They use a thermal pad on the 6900 XTs instead of a regular thermal paste. The thermal pad itself is not particularly great, but Audi 82 does not make a lot of heat. And oh yeah, definitely check your thermal pad thickness for your memory modules if you change those out. Okay, let's see. Actually, so while everyone waits, I have two more cards in queue to look at. I have a 2080 Super and a, hold on, oh that's right, a 2080 Super and a Vega 64. 2080 Super has a tool dropped onto the back of the card and is, let me see, not detected, and the Vega 64 was idle overnight and is now not detected. Which card do you guys want me to look at?
Let's do the Vega. Quick one.
Okay, Fyro votes Vega.
Vega.
Icurian votes Vega.
Everyone knows Vega.
Billjoy votes Vega. Okay, Vega seems to be the overwhelming.
You can keep the trend going.
Okay,
is
sure.
What I mean.
Okay, Vega. Okay, sure. Let me just put these custom screws in a bag first so I don't lose them, and then I'll go grab the Vega. You should know that Vega might be quite boring. A lot of these Vegas that I get, they have all voltages, normal resistances, and they're not detected. So standard checks are, of course, oscilloscope, PCIe caps, the PEX reset line, the oscillator, sorry, no, not oscilloscope, oscillator, sorry, crystal oscillator, and BIOSes too, and the BIOS switch is sometimes a culprit. Am I missing any? Give me a moment. I'll be back in a minute or two with the Vega.
And elevator music.
Yeah, BGM.
I put a picture of that 1080 with the core fell off on the chat, whichever chat it's on. Our general. Can't do anything about it at the moment because I don't have the tools to reinstall the core.
Gone.
Why the code well anyway?
So yes, the 6900 XT has a graphite pad on the core for 6800 XT, 1600 XTs, and I don't know how much of the Audit 82 lineup has it, but for the reference PCB, yes. Okay, so here's our Vega 64, I think. I'm guessing it's a reference model, but the owner didn't mention. So the thermal pad is actually pretty decent, but it's not as high performance as the thermal paste, in my opinion. Dead fans, so on mining cards this is a lot more common because they always run it, I wouldn't say full blast, but they run pretty heavily. Oh. Customer knows, so I don't want to give away his details. So reference Vega. Switch to the overhead cam. Okay. So reference Vega. Let me just read the customer notes very briefly. So he says that the card failed overnight while my so he says, to give some background, the card failed overnight while my PC was left turned on and idle. It had no prior signs of failure, such as artifacts or crashes. When starting the card, the fan will spin up and the GPU tackle light will briefly light on, but the card won't be detected by the system. I'm trying to fix it myself. I did accidentally pull a wire out of the LED lights. When my tweezer slipped, don't worry about this. I will likely recrimp it myself later if you're able to fix the card. Thanks for taking a look at it, and feel free to contact me with any questions. Best wishes, and then it's a customer's name. Okay, let's look at the card. So he says that the GPU tack light turns on briefly and then turns off. So I don't know. I should note that I don't work on Vega too often. AMD cards in general are quite a bit rarer, and so most graphics card technicians they struggle with AMD stuff, and it's also that AMD stuff is just, in my opinion, harder. But we'll give it a try anyways. Okay, first things first. I don't think we have a short on 12 volts. So given that the guy said that the tack light did turn on briefly. And let me switch back to Twitch chat so I can see if anyone said anything.
Yeah, there's somebody. Oh,
So XD board. Fyro, can you answer that for me? While I look at this card?
yeah.
So okay, diode mode with Vega. So first 12 volts at the PCI Express slots, we're good. 3.3 volts, we're good. First PCI Express lane, second PCI Express lane, yep. Checking reference clock plus and minus. That's good, okay. And let's see, did we check 3.3 volts? Oh, well, we have now. Now let's check the external 8 pins, 12 volts. So checking the left one, that's good. Checking the right one, that's fine. Okay, let's take it apart. Oh yeah, Greg. Greg is not fond of AMD. Okay, let's see, XD board. So you have a 1070 Ti that you shunt modded while power readings on the card were tricked. The card didn't overclock any better, so then I tried to remove the resistors I added, and ever since the card doesn't work. If I try to use it as a secondary GPU, the system won't even post. I'll be honest, I don't see a lot of cards where it won't post as a secondary card. I'm almost inclined to think maybe it's your system. I have to have this in hand. I can't. Maybe a Billjoy might know a bit more, given this is overclock related.
It actually happened to me recently.
Oh, okay. So Akurian seems to know. What do you think, Akurian?
Yeah, recently I'm working on Galaxy 1060, I think. Yeah, it won't post as secondary card, but
But
it's missing VMem.
missing memory.
Yeah,
It
I don't
won't.
know, but
Hold on. So
uh,
this is a Pascal card.
yeah. So when the primary card is using any NVIDIA cards, it won't post. But if I use AMD cards as primary card, it will post.
Oh, that's I've actually never seen that personally. I use yeah. If you're a listening XD board, that's Akurian seems to think this is memory related. So for, as a primary card, if it hangs on post for like a minute, that is probably memory related. Anyways, let's see. So first we're going to check 5 volts. This is this end here. One of the 5 volt rails, 3 kilo ohms, that's fine. Though, it doesn't look, actually no, that's fine, yep. Now let's check the HBM memory. This should be about 35 to 40 ohms, maybe a bit higher because this card is a bit cold. Yep, 44 ohms is perfectly fine. Yep. Okay, now let's check let's check the display rail. I think it's this end. No, this end. 14 ohms, that's fine actually. So 11 ohms is a common value I see. Now let's check 1.8 volts. So for this I usually see like 1.6 kilo ohms, but we have a bit higher, again perfectly fine. And finally let's check the memory phase. So not memory phase, the memory controller. 23 ohms, again perfectly good. Anyways, let's plug it in just briefly before we take it apart and see what it looks like. So I have a suspicion, maybe being a Vega card, that it'll just hang on post. Oh, pseudo bacon's here. Anyways, like I said, I have a suspicion this will hang on post. Let me switch the camera. Okay, so I have a diagnostic LED board somewhere around here. Let's just power it on first, and while I look for this postcard. Oh, here it is. So no fan spin. The thing looks pretty lifeless to me. But it hasn't failed to post, and it hasn't succeeded either. Okay, so I have a suspicion hang on post. Let's see. Okay, so it's at 2B. And it hangs. Okay, this is probably, I have a suspicion code 43, dead core. That's usually what the stuff means. It could be the BIOS too, but that would be a bit weird. Speaking of BIOS, let's switch it. Not detected. Try again. So on one BIOS switch it's not detected whatsoever, but on the other it tends to hang. Now it's just not detected again. Let's take it apart. But let me check vCore actually before I take it apart. Okay, vCore, 0.8, 0.9, so for Vega, on some models it rises when it's detected and initializes. But 0 volts. GPU full condition, or maybe just overheating? Doesn't feel warm.
Vega curse.
Oh, 32 viewers. I think that's a record, actually.
No, we got up to 36.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. I think pretty good for third day of streaming. 32 viewers. 32
Yeah.
viewers. At least I'm happy with it.
We might have 50 tomorrow. If
Well,
you stream.
Yeah. I think I'll probably stream tomorrow. So I have quite a lot of cards coming in. Mostly, definitely huge thanks to Billzoid. I definitely wouldn't have this many views if it wasn't Billzoid. Oh, okay. So that's how. I didn't know Billzoid had a Twitter. For those of you who are not used to disassembling Vegas, these three screws, they hold in the fan and they're shorter than the rest. You don't want to mix them up. Sorry, they're not shorter, I should say they're thinner than the rest. I know who Billzoid is. He's a very, very famous overclocker. Has great videos, by the way. I learned a lot about VRMs when I first started fixing graphics cards from his videos. Okay, wouldn't be Vega if it wasn't utterly disgusting. Anyways, let's switch to overhead cam.
Are the inductors rusty?
Actually, believe it or not, it's not rusted. That's usually not what I see, at least. Anyways, let's move the cooler somewhere else. Okay, so for this one we saw a GPU voltage disappear. I'm a little bit worried. This is maybe just well, if it is overheating, that would be really lame. But we'll see. So let me just clean the die first, and then we'll see if we'll try to figure out why the GPU VRM seems to just disappear. Clean enough? Any tips to clean the graphite pads from the core? Isopropyl alcohol. You can buy this from, if you live in the US, you can buy this from Walmart for like $1 for one of these small bottles here. So I recommend 91%, like this one. %, is probably fine. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to get off. So isopropyl alcohol and Q-tips, or I should say cotton swabs. Okay, let's see. It's definitely cold, and turn the card on. 0.8, 0.9. When it initializes, it should rise, at least on the Red Devil, but it drops. But it's not due to overheating. Okay, I'm actually kind of glad. This might be fixable. So for those of you who don't know, Vega is a bit, I wouldn't say unique, but it's a bit, what you often see is that a lot of these Vega cards, they have missing GPU VRM voltages. Let me put this in somewhere else. So what happens is that Vega, it has 12 phases for the V-core, right? This is doubled, so essentially 6 PWM signals doubled or interleaved, I don't remember which, and it uses it has 12 phases total. So Vega is a little bit different in that it uses only 6 phases at boot, and then once the GPU initializes, it uses all 12. So the fact that we have 0.9 volts at boot, and then it drops to 0, suggests to us that when it tries to use the additional 6 phases, there's a fault condition on those 6 phases. So for Vega, when it first boots, the phases it uses are, that's right, these, actually let me go an overhead view. Let me go for an overhead view, so it's a bit easier to see. Okay, so when Vega first boots, it only uses 6 of its 12 phases. The phases that it uses are these two, corresponding to PWM signal 1, I think. These two, corresponding to, I think, PWM signal 3, and then these two, corresponding to PWM signal 5. So because we have a GPU VRM that's at least starts at 0.9 volts, but then drops to 0, we think, or at least our suspicion is that we have a fault condition on the last 6 phases to turn on. So the suspicion is that there's something wrong relating to either these two phases, or these two phases, or these two phases. And I'll be upfront and say that Vega is traditionally a difficult card in that you don't always have very many hints to determine which phase is bad. You know, I'll be upfront and say that I don't really have a method, a reliable method of determining which phase is bad if it is a faulty phase, unless of course it's short or something. And that's usually not the case. So speaking of shorts, we have one 5-volt rail to check that we didn't do earlier, but it's probably fine. So it would be this one, and it's this pin over here, I think. Oh, whoops. 3.5 kilo ohms, perfectly fine. Okay, so which phase is bad? This is why I hate working on Vega. So typically, in my experience, it's usually due to a dead doubler. But sometimes it is actually just one of the MOSFETs. I have to go find my parts for a moment. So what I'm going to do arbitrarily is, okay, there's 2 ways we could do this that I can think of off the top of my head. The first is that we can use a I2C reader, USB, actually no, I have it right here. We can use a USB 555 by Infineon. So here we go, USB 555, and then if you use the POW IR sensor, you can hook it up to the IR 35217, and it might tell you, it's been a while since I used it, but it can tell you the fault condition. I'm not sure if it can tell you which phase is actually faulty. So I'm not gonna do this just yet because I just moved and I don't have the stuff set up yet. So what I'm gonna do arbitrarily is I'm just gonna replace 3 doublers for the later phases. Just classic part swapping because I have no reliable method, and then we'll see if it's any better. I should note that if this card ends up being maybe a little too time consuming, I'll just put it back in the queue, and I'll look at it off camera at a later date. So if you don't know, the doublers are IR 3598. That's right. If I can find them. Yep, here we go. Okay, so the 3 doubles that we want to switch are going to be this one, and this one. So let's go switch to a microscope camera, and we'll actually, no, we have to tin the 3 replacements first, so we'll do that.
Oh, by the way, speaking about doubler, does the Vega cards always running hot on the doubler?
Oh yeah, they run really hot. They reach 100 degrees Celsius in, I want to say not even 10 seconds. Like it's, can you check the gate resistance of the PWM pins of the doublers? Sure. Does it work for you, cat's meow? Because I usually don't even check those.
I
So-
think I have double issue then.
So 3598 can act as both a doubler and an interleaver, I think it's called. You can read it in the data sheets. Okay, according to Cat's Meow, resistance of a PWM pin should be off for a faulty doubler, in his experience. Sure, let me just pull up the data sheet for IR3598 and we'll check the resistance of the pins. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, you can just find IR3598's data sheet on the internet. So it is a, let's see, dual driver, and I believe it can, yeah, it can act in dual mode as an interleaver or just a plain old doubler, or, well, you have to ask, I don't think I have the terminology correct, but I think you understand the idea. So we'll check arbitrarily for a doubler. We'll check PWM1 and PWM2. Maybe, actually, while we're at it, let's check the high side gates and the low side gates. Okay? Okay, we'll start with this one over here. So pin, let's see. So 15, 14, and 13, we'll try that for starters. Okay, we'll start with a known, I shouldn't say known good, but suspected good. Dual driver, so 15, 15, yeah, that's right, 15, 14, and 13. So checking PWM1 on a supposedly good driver, we have 456 kilo ohms. Checking what I think is a low side. Oh, hold on. Yep, low side gate 1, 41 kilo ohms. And checking the high side gate 1. What? 0 ohms? Is it not used? Yeah, okay. We'll just go with it for now. So checking this one, 462, that's what we had before. Checking the low side, 42 kilo ohms, again, fine. Checking the next, this one here, which is on this end, 454, as expected, that's PWM1. Checking the low side, 42, high side's also still 0 ohms, 1 ohm, yep. And then checking this one, 458, again, same as before. Checking the low side, 42 kilo ohms, same as before. Okay, that doesn't seem to tell us anything. No, I know, okay. See you, Greg. Okay, let's check the other high side and PWM pins, and low side gate pins. So this would be pins 6, 7, and 8. Okay, pin 6, 7, and 8. First we're going to start by checking a known good one. Okay, checking a known good PW for. Oh, hold on, that must be the gauge. So that's the high side gate, 0 ohms. Checking the low side gate. (42). Checking the PWM signal. 450. Okay, so basically mirrored. Now checking our first suspect. High side is still 0. Okay. Low side gate. Hold on, I got my pin out wrong. So 5, 6, okay, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's do that again. So checking the high side, that's 0 ohms like before. Checking the low side, 42 kilo ohms. Checking the PWM signal, 457. Okay, going to the next one. Checking the high side, 0. Checking the low side, 42 kilo ohms. Checking the PWM. (450 kilo ohms). Okay, now let's check the final doubler. High side, 0. Low side, 42 kilo ohms. Checking the PWM. (450 kilo ohms). So they're all the same. That doesn't tell us anything. Any ideas, Casimir, before I just start swapping parts? Okay, anyways, let's just get to the part swapping. So I have 3 drivers over here. I have to tin them first, and then we'll start by changing the doublers. Yeah, that's what I think, Casimir. That's usually how it is in my experience. You can't, there's no telltale sign of which one's bad. You just have to either get the IR35217 to tell you if it does tell you which one's bad. I don't think it does. Or just guess. Which is, of course, usually a waste of time. Let's try that again. Yep, that's good. Let's next one. Yep, that's fine. And final doubler, or dual driver, I should say. Okay, yep, they all have solar on them. Let me just switch. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You know, my streaming setup is about 3 days old, so I have to fix the echoing in the microphone, the fact that you can hear all the external sounds, maybe a little too loudly, and of course the lighting. It will be fixed in due time. I just have to wait for Amazon to deliver all my stuff for me. Anyways, let's go to the microscope.
You also have to wait for Greg's mic.
Oh yeah, that's right. Greg sent me a mic. He shouldn't have, but he sent me one anyway, so I guess I'll just use it. And I'll pay him back.
He
Of course.
sent you a good one too.
Okay, let's take this one off. So this is the first suspect. I'm gonna. Actually, no, I won't test him after I replace him, or we'll see. We'll see how quickly the card cools down. Actually, for those of you who are maybe a little too used to blowing off components when you use hot air, I recommend you flux the entire area. The surface adhesion of solder will usually keep the smaller stuff from blowing away, but of course it makes it very messy. What's up?
No, it's the message from XDBird.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen the stream chat yet. I can't use I can't see Twitch chat and my micro my microscope view at the same time. Because I only have one usable monitor currently. See, where is it? Where'd it go? It's not it. There we go. Yep, that's attached, though maybe not so well. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
You know, instead of getting you a a microphone, Greg should got you a trinocular microscope.
Yeah, maybe he should have. I plan to get a decent one later. This was just the cheap one that I bought because it was cheap.
DC he needs a 245 station, a decent microscope, some clean room cloths,
Yeah.
alcohol spray.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a lot of things, huh?
Who uses alcohol spray? It's just like
Greg.
a waste of money.
Greg uses it.
He does. Greg's Gucci.
I also do.
Let's see, let's see. It's actually not too warm, so actually no, that's very warm.
So easy to spray.
Sorry, what?
So easy to spray.
Sorry, what?
I was talking about the alcohol spray.
So easy to spray.
Sorry, what? I'm getting awful feedback.
Yeah.
Chris, you need to Chris, mute yourself. There we go. Okay.
Or mute the stream.
I'm kind of, I don't know, like on one hand I know it's faster just to replace all three at the same time, but I kind of want to know which one is failing.
One at a time. It's gonna be the last one, but one at a time.
Or no, maybe it's just none of them.
It's the thing in the center of the card.
You know what, while we're at it, let's just inspect the other two doublers, just in case maybe there's some obvious hints that I'm not seeing. So this is the first of, this is the other suspect. Miles, anything look off to you?
The other ones have that dash after the IRC.
I'm pretty sure that they do. Yes.
Looks fine.
You know, actually, speaking of which, this one looks not so great. This one, which is not a suspect at all, looks fine. This one, which is a suspect, looks awful. Come to think of it, let's look at the other one. So this one, not a suspect, looks good. We just changed this one, but I'll move on to the other one. And this one actually looks kind of awful as well. So to me,
go back to the middle one.
Sorry, what?
Go back to the one in between the one you replaced and it was like the fifth one you showed.
So this is the one I replaced.
One more over.
Left or right?
Right.
That's the first doubler. So this one works just fine. Actually, no. Is
That
this?
looks like shit.
No, wait. No. Hold on. I'm sorry. No. This is the one I replaced. That's why it looks like shit. Sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Too much flux and hasn't been cleaned yet. This is the first doubler. So this one works fine given we have 0.9 volts. Anyways, I think the card is cool enough. Let's go back to regular view.
This one looks like shit. Oh, this one I replaced. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the solder does look pretty awful, Tim. The enchanter.
That's because he uses lid-free solder.
Yeah, maybe, but then again, it's a Vega, so it's probably spent like half its life in a mining rig.
Right.
It's entire.
Well, not I wouldn't say entire. You know, some people actually use Vega as a game. I had a Vega that I bought a Vega 56 like 3 months after it launched, just because you could flash a Vega 64 BIOS on it. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, the solder in general just looks awful and all over the card, if you ask me. It's definitely an old card. Okay. Moment of truth. This is not gonna work, but you know, if it does, that would be cool. Nope. There we go. Shut itself off.
Can you check with oscilloscope instead?
I could. I actually don't have my oscilloscope set up though. The problem is that the actually no, maybe. So the problem is that the faulty phases, because they are faulty straight away, they shut it themselves off straight away. So you'd only get like a really small like nanosecond of the faulty phase running, and I'm not sure it would actually.
Well, the doublers.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure it would actually tell us anything. If I were so set up, I would do it, but I don't. Okay.
Run if you move it.
Next double. Let's go.
PC.
What's up?
Will it work, or will it run if you remove the doublers?
No.
Or will
So
it just
the thing about Vega is that all the phases have to work at the same time. Like you cannot remove a doubler; it will not run.
Alright. I kind of figured that, but I wasn't for sure.
Let's see. Yep, this is the next one. Soda looks pretty awful around the doubler, I gotta say. Like, it looks kind of okay away from the doubler, but like here it looks, in my opinion, okay. But this looks atrocious. Anyways, let's replace it. Okay, we'll give it a minute to cool down. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna download POW IR Center for USB 005 in case I end up having to use it. You know, Vega's realistically I could probably replace all the the 3 doublers and the associated MOSFETs, and it still may not boot. So at the moment I'm repairing a Vega. So I looked at today. I looked at 2 1070s and Miles. What was the first card? Do you remember?
I don't think there was anything else.
No. Remember, I had a poll, and the overwhelming vote was the two 1070s, which means that we had a card before it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I
Or
don't think there was.
No.
no, yeah, no, yeah, there was the card that was stuck at 139 megahertz. I had to rewire
Oh yeah. I was
that capacitor next to
right.
INA 3221. Yeah. So we had a GTX 1080, I think. It had a knocked off capacitor at INA 3221, so 139 megahertz. That was the clock speed it was stuck at, even at full load. So we rewired it and it works. Then I had two 1070s from a guy who bought them off of Facebook Marketplace. Both of them short on the PEX reset pin, which implies a dead core, and I can tell you it's probably definitely a dead core. And now I'm looking at the Vega. So this one, if it's not relatively quick, we'll just skip it and I'll have to look at it off camera, maybe YouTube video. So the way I do my Twitch streams is that Twitch is mostly for the relatively easy or straightforward cards. You know, I don't, basically if it's not YouTube worthy or it isn't new or it doesn't do anything maybe different or it doesn't cover a new card, it'll be on Twitch. So I have a 6800 XT missing voltage on the SoC rail. That'll be YouTube worthy because it's a 6800 XT and I don't get that kind of problem too often. But yeah, stuff like this, I've already covered this on YouTube, so it'll be Twitch, a Twitch video. And yeah, TP01234. I have a YouTube channel named Tech Cemetery. I also run Tech Cemetery LLC, and I have a website, www.techcemetery.com, where people send me repair requests for graphics cards.
And
Okay.
laptops.
And laptops occasionally, but that's a bit of a harder it's harder to get people to send me laptops because I guess I'm not as well known. You know, it's not like graphics cards. You know, with graphics cards, there are not too many people who fix graphics cards, so not much competition. But laptops, it's very heavy competition. Anyways, so random QC. So this is technically, yeah, this is easy fix category. If you, I know some of my viewers don't like hearing it, but if you fix, let's say, graphics cards for a living, then this would be, I wouldn't call it easy fix. Vega is relatively hard card, but it's at least kind of straightforward. Kind of. We'll see whether it actually works. Okay, voltage mode. Please GPU VRM. Please turn on.
Yeah, the guys are either dead power stage or
Post. It posts. It posts. It posts. It fucking posts. Hold on. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Let me plug it in.
Nice.
Okay. You'll see the screen. Yep, we're done. So if you're wondering why it looks corrupted, it's because yeah, you can barely see the screen. Let me get a different camera so it's really obvious it has actually posted.
Put the cooler on. Like you can see it better.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, sure. We'll put the cooler on. We'll put the cooler on, and you'll verify that it gets into Windows. That's the fun part. Yep. So it was a second doublet. So it would have been not a good view. So it's over here. It's in the corner. It's in the corner. Okay. Let me put the cooler on, and we should be good. So the first doublet was probably fine, but we'll leave it on anyways. I'm not gonna take my Yeah, so I'll clean up the solder off camera. So like the stuff like cleaning up the solder flux and redoing the solder, that's not really Twitch content if you ask me. But yeah, so if you're asking whether I'll clean it, I will. Just not on camera. Like like packing stuff, I typically do. I'm not gonna do that on Twitch. That wouldn't really qualify. So anyways, let me just we'll just
Hot
put.
tub though.
Sorry, what? I'm sorry.
Pack it all in a hot tub, let it qualify.
Yeah, I think I'll pass. So anyways, I'm just gonna put the heatsink on, and I'll leave the fan off. I'll do the testing off camera because I want to get to the 2080 Super. So we'll just verify it boots into Windows, and then we should be good.
Run superposition too.
I'm sorry, Miles?
Run superposition.
I'm not running. Okay, for like 10 seconds. Deal?
It's like a 2-minute benchmark.
I don't have superposition on that computer.
Oh,
This is a Radeon 7. It's benchmark at my Edge.
Where's my Q-tips? Hold on. Where's my alcohol? Oh, there we go. Cluttery desk. I'm not going to clean it too much because it's going to be done off camera, so we'll just remove the large blocks and briefly brush it off. And yeah, we'll just leave it like that because it's only temporary. It's not gonna die. Actually, you know, no. We'll spread it around.
oh, TC's a thermal paste spreader.
Not really. Not really. Usually, I just put a gigantic blob, but I know Greg gets mad when I do that.
I just do an X.
Let's see. Anything in Twitch chat? So we have Yep. So yeah, I agree, Bills. I agree. So, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, these Vegas are definitely kind of old, and I'm a little worried it will catch fire. So as to whether I replace all the doublers, typically I don't just replace parts for as a countermeasure. Typically, in this case, I have to think about it. I'll ask the owner what he wants. Yeah, I would agree. So given that this one has no thermal pads, it definitely probably does contribute to overheating. For those of you on stream who don't know, these doublers, they often run at above 100 degrees Celsius, and it doesn't take them very long to get there. Hence why they fail quite often. So yes, Zippy T3K, they do just when they're used 24/7. Actually, I'll just yeah, that's right. I'll put the fan on so it doesn't rattle while it's idling. So I'm not going to run Unigen superposition because the thing about Vegas is, in my experience, they like to catch fire. I want to make sure I redo the solder on the other doubler with before I run it under load. So for those of you who didn't notice, the LEDs on this card don't work, but it should still at least have working fans. Yep.
I think I see like with the connector
What connector?
for the fan connector. I thought you said that.
Said what?
For the LED connector.
Sorry, your microphone's awful, dude. I can't understand anything at the moment. So you can see the Windows logo. Press skip disk checking. Will boot into Windows, install drivers, and then I'll turn it off. Okay, yes. So the card is, I'm not sure if you can see that, you can probably see the AMD Radeon logo in GPU-Z. There's only one graphics card in the system. So the drivers have installed, everything looks perfectly good. It's a Vega 64 actually, Samsung HBM, and everything else is perfectly normal. And all the readings are good. Okay, let's turn it off. So I have one more card, at least one more card that I'll go through today in my queue. So that's a 2080 Super. The owner says that he dropped something onto the back of the card, and now it's not detected. So we're going to use a microscope mostly for that. It's probably going to be a bit of a boring repair, but that's if you fix graphics cards, you know, if you fix electronics, physically customer-induced damage is quite common. Oh, and
Does that 2080 Super have a backplate?
I'm guessing not. I was kind of surprised when he mentioned it. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't have a backplate. So let me just put the customer screws for this Vega and his backplate in a bag so I don't lose it, and then I'll go grab the 2080 Super. Oh yeah, definitely mostly easy to fix. Yep, those are. I know that they don't make for good videos, but I think they're at least Twitch worthy, even though they are relatively straightforward. You know, Twitch is like for me. My idea was Twitch would be the not YouTube worthy cards, so stuff that's physically damaged or relatively straightforward. On second thought, I think for this card I'll just replace all the doublers, but do it off camera. It's not. Doublers are not that expensive, and Vegas go for quite a lot of money, even with the crypto craze dying down. Let me go put this away and get the next card. Oh, yeah, those are all donor boards. Okay, so possibly final card for the night. This is the easy one. The owner, he damaged it. He dropped the screwdriver onto the back. Where's my knife? My other knife. I think it was a screwdriver. I don't remember. Just dropped something. Oh. Yep. Can't forget that. Customer details. You cannot. If I have a Vega 64 video. Actually, no. So from memory, you cannot run Vega with one of the phases missing. From memory, Vega is very picky on how its GPU VRM works. That's why so many fixable Vegas have a problem with the GPU VRM. So Miles, no, this card does not have a backplate. It's one of those KR. The last two letters of KR. Is that B stock? Satanic would know. Satanic would know if he was here. It's okay.
That was purchased on the 6th week of June in 2019.
Yeah, he would.
From in the western part of the U.S.
Yeah, he would know all those things, wouldn't he?
Oh, I just put fucking micron memory on a Samsung card.
Again? I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's how you know it's too late.
What time is it over there? 1 a.m.? Oh, yeah, that's right. 12:30 a.m.
12:30. I should probably go to bed, but...
So the customer said he dropped something onto the card. I don't see any obvious damage. It is, however, a little bit corroded. But that's kind of common on these on these cards with no backplates, or just on a lot of cards actually. Black
Said I
backplate.
dropped some water on it.
What?
He dropped some water on it, and then dropped a screwdriver on it, trying to fix it. He just left the water.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I'm not even sure if it was a screwdriver. I just remember he dropped something. That's what I have on my customer notes. So I don't see any obvious physical damage, and I'm not gonna spend like 10 minutes just going through every little area with a microscope. So let's just go ahead and power it on. First, let's take it apart and do a resistance check and then power it on, and it might give us a clue as to which part is damaged.
How one of my customers would describe it. Oh, I dropped it. They leave out they dropped it into a puddle.
I mean, they're usually embarrassed about it, which is, I think it's okay. Or maybe he dropped something on the other side if he was changing thermal paste.
boy, it is a blizzard outside.
Oh yeah, it's cold as hell over here. Yesterday it was negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and then like 40-mile-per-hour winds. I had to go buy groceries from Hy-Vee. It's a store over here because I forgot to go the day
It's hot
before.
over here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very warm over there, Victoria. I miss the tropics.
Yeah, my bike saddle is so hot.
Oh, that's right. This is one of those. You ever get those cars with EVGA thermal pads and they're basically glued to the board? I
Yeah.
I hate these because I always feel like I'm gonna bend the PCB too far and break it.
You know, I wonder if that's what happens to a lot of 30 series parts.
What do you mean?
Because everyone's like, change your thermal paste.
Oh,
thermal
yeah.
pads.
That's exactly what I think happens. I think they're what's happening is they're not knocking off components. They're bending the PCB too bad, and then the memory module next to the PCIe slot separates from the board. That's what I think is happening. You know, it's like Ampere in general. We've already talked about this, right? But for those of you who are on Twitch, Ampere in general, in terms of reliability, upper Ampere. So GA102. So 3080, 3090, 3080 Ti, soon 3090 Ti. Like Miles said, POS. It is, in my opinion, the single least reliable set of cards of any graphics cards released in the past 5 years. It's atrocious. Anyways, this thing's off. Let's take our standard measurements.
Have you fixed the 3070 Ti yet?
I've never even had a 3070 Ti in for repair, believe it or not. It feels like a paper
Alright,
lunch. Okay, so 12 volts, PCI Express slots. Nothing.
GA104, I think.
It can't be this easy. So dead fuse, but is it shorted to ground on the other side? It is.
No.
Yeah, 121 ohms. That has to be shorted to ground. Yes. So short on 12 volts at the PCI Express slot and a dead fuse. R is. Do you remember the value of R? Is that 8 amps? That residue you see around the core is. It looks like Okay, so the memory, it's just thermal pad grease. That's from thermal paste. And we're also missing a portion of the inductor here, I think, or unless it came like that. Anyways, let's just check them all.
I somewhat doubt it.
Normal. So this one's of course short. Let's check 5 volts, and they used MP1475 instead of their what is it? MP8859? Whatever, I don't remember what it's called.
That.
So that one's fine. Let's check 12 volts here after the current balancing transistors. Yep, that's fine. Checking that's right, the 1.8 volt rails on the bottom. That's not a good sign. 418 ohms, and then PEX rail, 12 ohms. That's fine. And this is 3.3 volts, I think. Okay. And for these Turing cards, I always check this pin because the component connected to it it often dies, but this one's fine. And while we're at it, PCIe lanes, even though I kind of suspect it's just fine. Yep. That's fine. Oh, whoops. Checking PEX resets. But then again, of course, it has an AND gate, so it will be afterwards. Ref clock, yep, that's fine. Okay, short on 12 volts, 121 ohms. After the fuse. This should be relatively straightforward. So for a short on 12 volts, the most common scenario is that it passes through the core, but at 121 ohms, I'm not sure this is the case. And also I actually forgot to check the memory phase. So if this is a Samsung memory, so this should be about 20 ohms. 26? Yep, fine. Okay, so now we have actually checked all the phases, and we just have a short on 12 volts. So he said it dropped something. I don't see any obvious physical damage. Maybe if Miles had it, he'd see it, but I don't have as much experience as Miles looking at boards under a microscope. Anyways, let's look at my.
Scratch marks?
I'm sorry?
Any like weird scratch marks or anything on it on the back?
Mm,
I'd assume it was on the back. That looks like factory thermal paste.
I don't see any scratch marks. No. I mean, maybe it'd be obvious once it's once we determine which
Anything on
component.
the back by like 1.8,
I'm
that'd be
s-
my guess with low 1.8 resistance.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I'm thinking that the abnormally low resistance on 1.8 volts and the abnormally low resistance on 12 volts PCI Express slot is just the same component.
1.8 buck converter takes 5 volts, not 12, right?
I think it does take. I'm pretty sure it takes 12. So to Human 77, yes, the card is dead. The owner of this card dropped something on the card. I think it's on the back, and now the card does not function. It has a blown fuse at Oh, Satanus is here. It has a blown fuse here. Oh yeah, of course, Satanus recognizes the year and make, and that it would be in warranty. I don't know why this was rejected for warranty. I'm guess it's customer induced damage, so I'm guessing that's it. Anyways, let's hook up a power supply and see if we can spot what gets really warm, if anything. So again, as I said, for those of you on Twitch, the most common scenario for a short on 12 volts is that it passes through the core. So when you feed voltage to your shorted rail, you always start at a voltage that is core safe, so ideally less than 1. I have it set to 0.9 at the moment. It's about as high as I go. And let's just check the voltage at the, yep. So as you can see at the actual, there we go. So at the alligator clips, that's right. So at the alligator clips we have 0.99 volts. So first we're going to check the V core, 0 volts. Then we're going to check memory, 0 volts, checking 1.8 volts, 0 volts, and checking PEX, 0 volts. So that's all the rails that connect directly to the core, and it doesn't seem to show up anywhere. Does it show up on 5 volts? No. Here, oh, we have 0.227 right here. So we have a bit of voltage showing up on this current bouncing circuit. So these components suddenly are suspect. Let's check this one, or maybe they're not suspect, and I don't. That's a premature guess. But in either case, it's not going to pass to the core itself. So we're safe just to bump up the voltage. So, oh great, 3 volts, 0 amps, 0.1 amps. This is not going to show up on a thermal camera. Okay, that's not great. So we're at 4 volts and it takes 0.05 amps. I'm going to get my thermal camera. This should be relatively straightforward work for this. Okay, so for Human 77, so for 1010 it's pulling 400 watts, I'm guessing this will likely show up in GPU-Z, right? So this is a problem with the INA322, something relating to the INA3221, and the very first card I repaired in this stream is actually a similar repair. It had 400 watts as well. It was a 1080, so you want to watch the first card repaired on the stream to get an idea. I also have a YouTube video and a YouTube channel where I have a card that is stuck at 139 megahertz. This is a GTX 1080 Ti Strix. You might want to watch that. It gives you a basic idea of what you're looking for when you have, let's say, a card that is pulling that much power. That's not obviously pulling that much power. So on the thermal camera, nothing seems to get warm.
How many amps is this pulling?
But we do have a few things that. Hold on. It's pulling 0.05 amps at 4 volts. I'm a little scared to have it go higher. So let's turn it around. Oh great, that's not good. Okay, I think I know what's wrong. Let's turn this over so that you can see the thermal cam. Oh, it does show up on thermal cam. Say Tanith. You'll see. Okay, turn it over. Now, if I put it like this, do you see those red dots? Those are the I want to say they're the drivers for the power stages, I think. So yeah, 4 of them. I'm not sure if they're the reason why they're dead or there's something else. But yeah, that seems to be the only thing that shows up as red. So let's go ahead and take those off. So that would be, let me see. This here, yep, this, yes, this, yes, and this, yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a feeling this is going to be a little harder than I'd hoped. So let's see. You have a P104 100, and then it's stuck at 139 megahertz. Shows 0 watts of power consumption. If you don't, so. Oh, thanks, Bildoid. Current balance controllers. Okay, so cat's meow. There's a resistor that INA3221 connects to the core with. If that resistor is damaged or missing, maybe you're not getting any data. That's my only suggestion. Also, thanks, Bildoid. As it turns out, these are current balance controllers. Okay, let's just go ahead and, well, they definitely seem to be dead, so let's just take them off to begin with. EVJ warranty stickers and their tamper-proofness. Hey, Satanov, do you have a way of oh yeah, sorry about that. Do you have a way of taking off these EVJ warranty stickers without having them rip apart? Well, congratulations, Neutron Flux Labs. Okay, I need to be careful with this. Yeah, but if you flood the air with alcohol, you will kind of damage the sticker. Okay, sure. Sure. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's not in warranty, so it doesn't really matter if the sticker is present, but... Okay, let's just go ahead. Alcohol it is. If my customer gets mad, it's your fault, Satanith. I'll just say... I'll say Twitch chat told me to do it.
Yeah, now you have a go-to excuse.
Okay, maybe I should just not care for the sticker. You know what? Oh, god damn it. almost there, but I can't get that last part off. I feel like I'm gonna rip it off and it's gonna be all for nothing. I mean, he won't be the owner won't be able to use the sticker anyways because it's mangled and they can tell it's been taken off. But it's mostly just for looks. There we go. Mostly intact sticker. And while we're at it, Q-tip. Man, that is some awful adhesive. Anyways, let's take off those current bounce controllers.
I feel like it's probably something feeding them rather than them being shorted.
Yeah,
Normally, like one component.
that's what I think as well. I think something's killed them, and they're not actually at fault, but
Part number for them, real quick.
turn on at 4 volts. Okay, well, actually, let me look at that article before I do anything rash. This is new territory for me. I've never had to replace one of these. So it's a 2-channel input power management controller, specifically designed for dynamic input power switching and undervoltage boot application. Okay. You know what, let's use a thermal camera again, and we'll pick something below 2.7 volts. We'll pick 2 volts. Let me just wipe the desk first. You know, I thought this was gonna be an easy card, but it looks like it's gonna be the most difficult one, at least the most time-consuming one. Okay, so 2.5 volts, it takes 0.01 amps, 0.02 now. Hey Miles, do you know what chip takes both 128 volts, 12 volts, and you have to basically replace on every other 20 series card?
1.8 and 12 volts?
Yeah, I mean this is actually there's a certain chip that I'm thinking about, NCP45491. That thing dies pretty often, no?
Doesn't that take 3.3, not 1.8?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Hold on, I have a board view open here. It doesn't say. It wouldn't surprise me if that thing died. I had to buy a spool of them because I've gone through so many.
I think you can use US 5650Q if I remember right. So for those of you on Twitch, I'm trying to use a thermal camera to determine if anything is heating up, and it's not. So this does not seem like straightforward fix or repair. So what takes 12 volts and 1.8 and is causing a partial short on both? Any guesses?
Pull the
What?
lift the inductor on 1.8 and see if your resistance changes before or after it.
I don't think it'd be relevant in this case, but sure. Why? I actually don't have that sorting iron set up yet. So that's 11.7. Yeah, 410. Honestly, as bad as this sounds, I'm almost tempted to just replace the fuse and turn it on again, and hope whatever component that is dead. Hold on. Now we have 2.7 kilo ohms on the PCI Express 12 volts.
Place the fuse, plug it in, see what happens. What's the worst that happens? You blow a fuse?
The worst that could
You run a
happen.
wire,
Well,
you go out.
okay. You know what? I don't know. That feels really not like a good idea to me. Sure. Let's replace the fuse. Oh dear.
Fire.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really uncomfortable with this, but we have no obvious leads. We have a partial short on 1.8 volts. Everything else looks good now, but it didn't look good before. Yeah, I think the easiest way to fix this card is just to diagnose it by trying to turn it on. Let me go get a fuse. Off the top of your head, do you know what letter R is for the fuse rating?
Throw a 10 amp fuse on. I think it's 8, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, so I know EVJ loves to use 8. They use 7 on the Kingpin 1080 Ti, and let's see, do I have an 8 amp fuse lying around? That's a 20 amp. Okay, I'll just use a 10 amp. I don't have anything else. That's a 2 amp. Here we go, here's a 10 amp.
Can't they just like write the number? Like R and 8 are the same amount of ink if they're trying to say.
Yeah, that would make too much sense. You know, you have to do what the USB, what are they called? The committee who decides the naming scheme. Yeah, you have to do what they do, which is make it as nonsensical as possible.
Oh, Why is this card gotta be a pain in the ass?
Okay, let's switch to microscope view. We'll replace the fuse against my better judgment, but we have no leads basically, and that partial short of 1.8 volts wouldn't work either. So yeah, let's replace this fuse. I swear to God, if it's just the fuse, I'm gonna be immortalized on Twitch as an idiot who spends 20 minutes just to figure out that the fuse was bad and nothing else.
That inductor looks healthy.
Yeah, so actually, speaking of which, yeah, he dropped a screwdriver. That inductor is missing a portion of the inductor, I'm pretty sure. And maybe it also killed the fuse while it was dropped. Maybe it's actually just really simple, just a fuse. Let's find out. Only one way to find out. Let's clean the die and then let the card cool off for a moment. Okay, turning the card on. Let's see. Do we have memory, since that's typically the last rail to turn on? We do. Let's plug it in, display. Was it just the fuse? I have a feeling the answer is yes. Yeah, it's just the fuse. It's just the fuse. 20 minutes just for the fuse. all that caution, thinking there was some other problem due to 400 ohms on 1.8 volts and 121 ohms on 12 volts. Just a fuse.
I would say that was
Just a
close to
fuse.
the
Anyways,
No firework.
so yeah, no fireworks. So this card has fuses everywhere. So yeah, at least the card works now. Thanks for the help, Zoid. That was, I would have definitely taken longer had you not been here. But yeah, the card seemingly works. I want to stress test it before I send it back. Tell the owner, of course, that it's all good, just in case there is actually a problem with the current bouncing. But this one seems to be good. Okay, so let's see. Anyways, this is end of my queue for today, and I'm also gonna call it a night. 12 a.m. is 12 a.m. over here. It's I don't actually sleep for like another 5 or 6 hours, but I do have other stuff I want to do that I'm not gonna put on Twitch stream. So anyways, if you have any questions, I plan to have a let's just go over a summary of the stream itself. We look at 5 cards. We have a 1080 that the owner knocks off a capacitor connected to INA3221. It's stuck at 139 megahertz. We rewire the capacitor and then we're good. Then we have two 1070s. The owner buys them both from Facebook Marketplace, and they're both not detected. One of them apparently has no power, but that wasn't the case. Both of them are short on PAX resets. We have a Vega 64. So Vega 64, the VRM turns on, and then when it comes time to initialize, the VRM turns itself off due to a fault condition. We check the PWM signals and the high side gate and the low side gate signals for the doublers or dual drivers, as you say, for the suspected faulty drivers. On resistance mode, they're all fine. So we start changing them one by one, and it turns out to be the second one or the one in the corner. You can watch the past broadcast later if you want to see which one it is. And then finally we have a 2080 Super, where we spend 20 minutes thinking that there's some deep underlying problem with the card, and end up finding out that it's just the views. Anyways, does anyone have any questions about graphics cards or anything before I end the stream?
Can you fix my Radeon 7?
No, I cannot fix your Radeon 7. That thing belongs in a trash bin.
So you
Actually,
can?
I can diagnose it though. Dead core. That's all I need to know. Once you say Radeon 7, dead core. Also, hi Storm Sun. Unfortunately, you've actually just caught me at the end of the stream. I'm about to end it in like 5 minutes. So I'm guessing that there's no questions, so... Oh yeah, RMA Lord is definitely in chat. No, I won't fix your GTX 670 Fyro. You can do it on your own Twitch stream. Anyways, also, thanks to Billzoid for sharing my stream on Twitter. I definitely appreciate the help. It's nice that somebody in the YouTube tech space remembers my channel. It's very nice. But anyways, that's the end of the stream. Thank you for watching. Just remember that if you have a broken graphics card, I run Tech Cemetery LLC and the Tech Cemetery YouTube channel, and I have a website, www.techcemetery.com, which you can submit a repair request if you want. Code 39, I've never seen that. Ask my Discord, by the way. I have a Discord. The link is in the About section of my YouTube channel. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll probably have another stream tomorrow or the day after.